people that after they get done, they're begging for it. So.
Okay, we're good.
All right. Well, hey, welcome to National Write Your Congressman, guys. This is 20 years ago, about 20 years ago, I made the decision that you made. And it was a big decision. It was a life-changing decision. It was a decision that completely changed my life, changed my family's life, changed the course, the direction in ways I couldn't have even imagined. And so I'm very, very excited about the journey that you're about to take. And I'm even more excited about the opportunity that you're going to have to hear from Kevin Whisler. Now, this is the part of the call that Kevin hates, okay? So, Kevin, close your ears. Because Kevin, although he's a rock star, literally, and he plays the drums like you've never seen anyone play the drums. I've been there in person, rocking out with Kevin. And but he's not the guy who really likes to be the center of attention. He really doesn't like, talking about his successes or things that he's done. He's just very humble and he just goes to work and he just doesn't think he's doing anything special. And so I'm gonna speak for him in that way. But now I'm gonna do the stuff he hates. So I wanna just set the stage. I want to get some context for you. There you go. He's plugging his ears. So that when we go through this, you'll understand why we're having this meeting. You'll also understand what an opportunity this is. Like Mark talked about, this is a gift, right? This is a gift. I know it's a challenge, but in the challenge, in most challenges, there's a gift. And in this case, that prep time, when we get done talking today, my hope and prayer would be that you would understand how valuable of a gift that it is. And I think when Kevin gets done sharing from the heart, which is the only way he does, that you will understand where we're coming from. So let me give you that context. So Kevin has a unique perspective that is very important for us to understand. Now, where did he get that unique perspective? Well, I came here 20 years ago and I have never left, and I've been here for 20 years, and I've been here for so long that I have taken for granted a lot of things. We have an incredible culture here that I take for granted. We have an incredible supportive leadership team, which sometimes I take for granted. We have a product that is being sold right now. I want you to think about this. What could you be selling right now in this marketplace as effectively as we're selling right now, National Write Your Congress? So we're renewing, we're selling, even in this market, but even with everything going on, even with business owners going, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to make payroll. They're still buying National Write Your Congressman. They're still renewing their memberships in National Write Your Congressman. And this will put it in perspective as well. When I started my career, the first person that I trained in the field, the very first person, it was the week of 9/11. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine being in the field on 9/11? Now, I'm sure all of you remember where you were. Everybody does. And when 9/11 happened and those planes hit the towers, the entire country, and really the entire world, but especially our country, literally stopped. Everyone stopped. Nobody was doing business. Everybody was huddled around their TVs. And I was out training somebody in the first week, what you're preparing for right now. And those of you who have gone through and understand compensation and training, you understand the pressure on a trainer, on a certified trainer, to deliver is very high. Because when we go out to work with you, we're leaving sales with you, and we're keeping some sales, but we're going to leave enough sales with you that you have, that's how we're going to make your paycheck. You're going to earn while you're learning. So there was an enormous amount of pressure. This was, early part of the training. And what did I do? What did we do? Well, you know what? We sold 7 memberships the day the planes hit the 2 towers. Now, that is just mind-blowing. We would walk in doing legislative research and people were excited to share, to talk, to be a part of something. They wanted to be a part of something, right? So times like this is when we shine. And this downtime, this opportunity that you have is a gift. Mark is absolutely right. So let's talk about that gift, and hopefully Kevin is going to really put it together. So let's talk about Kevin's unique perspective. So that's my unique perspective. Kevin came and he actually started before I did originally, but has had everywhere Kevin goes, including here. He was the Rookie of the Year in 2008 for National Write Your Congressman. Okay. Everywhere Kevin goes, he's the number one sales rep in the country. I mean, he just is. But one of the things that he has been able to do is he's left and then gone and done some other things. You got to understand when Kevin walks in, there's a lot of people. He gets like job offers every day, every single day. And by the way, I'll tell you this. You know, when you're having a bad day, this is for future reference. If you're having a bad day or a bad week, and things are just not going your way, stop trying to make sales and just go see if you can get a job offer, right? You know, just for fun, right? Now, I know that scares you guys to death, but I mean, it is fun to shift your focus and go, you know what, I'm going to do such a good job that people are going to offer me a job. Well, then what happens is you sell a bunch and you get a job offer. Anyway, but Kevin's unique perspective is he's come and he's left and he's come back. He's actually had the opportunity to go through the university more than one time. And so this is a very unique thing that he brings to the table. Well, let's talk about this time when Kevin made the decision. In fact, he and I did this together at the Western Region Conference. We got together and we had a meeting. And he said, you know what, Chris, I want to come back. I miss the family. I miss the culture. I miss the integrity of the people. And I told him, I said, all right, Kevin, this is it, man. This is a one-way ticket. And so we had a good conversation. But this time, when Kevin Whisler chose to come back, again, had a lot of success. This time it was different. This time he said, you know what? This time when I get back started, I already know exactly what's going to happen. I know the trainer's going to show up. I know what the expectations on me are. I know what I'm going to have to do to perform. I know what I'm going to have to do to make a good six-figure income in my first year. He knew all of those things. And when it came time to actually start in the field, he didn't have the gift because we didn't have a coronavirus. So he could just go in the field as soon as he was ready. And he was ready by all of our standards. He checked off the talk, he was ready. But you know what he did? He said, Chris, I really want to get started. I'm anxious to get started. But you know what? I need another week. I need another week. He could have started. He was ready. We all said he was ready. But he wasn't ready to the point where he knew that if this time was going to be different. Now, let me just talk about what happened, okay? Meteoric success in the field, right? I mean, you look at the Platinum Patriot, he blew that out, right? But in addition to that, as he started to get into training, those numbers kept going up and up and up. Now, I want to bring you back to the interview. Many of you were interviewing not too long ago, and you went through the chart, the income chart, right? And the weekly breakdown, and it's a weekly base bonus and weekly commissions. And you also know that the weekly base bonus and the weekly commissions can go up and down based on performance. And we also know, hopefully you all know this, because the first thing I was looking at was the 20, right? 20 new business sales a week. If you get 20 new business sales a week, that's a $160,000, $170,000 first year career. Can we all agree that that would be fantastic? If we could get 20 new business members in a week, consistently, week in, week out, that would be incredible. That'd be an incredible first year. Well, the numbers started coming in with Kevin, and it kept going up and up and up. And he started doing 30 new business in a week. And then he started doing 35 new business in a week. Then he was doing 45 new business in 1 week. Then he got out in training and he started moving around different places. And everywhere Kevin went, it was a miracle. The territory was incredible. Everywhere Kevin wasn't, it just seemed like the territory wasn't that good. But when Kevin showed up, all of a sudden the territory was incredible. Averaged, in fact, Mark knows this because Mark runs the training program. And by the way, this is a good opportunity for Mark to recognize Kevin a little bit too. Kevin, in fact, I'm gonna let you do this, Mark. Talk a little bit about the 2020 Top Gun, where we are right now and where Kevin is. And then he can unplug his ears.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. So you guys, we track, we watch what our trainers do out in the field, right? We want to keep up with how they train. You know how you have the script that you're memorizing? Well, I don't think it surprised you to know that we have a training system. We have a booklet that our trainers follow when they come to train you. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. That morning, lunch, afternoon, there's certain things that trainer is going to do with you that have been proven successful forever. And so when trainers show up, they follow they're not just, hey, well, this has worked for me, so I'm going to teach it to you. No, they're teaching you best practices from all of what NWIC has learned through all the years, right? And so we don't just let anybody go train. They have to get certified. They have to know what they're doing when they go train you. And we track statistics. We track interview count. We track close ratios for you as the trainee and the trainer. And so we have this formula where we add up interview counts and close ratios, and we get this score. And so then the trainers, they get scored and they get ranked based on the score. All right. So Michael Ramsey, who leads the new business training efforts around the country, he's been the #1 trainer for years. The last couple of years, Will Grubbs and John Shoemaker have shared that. Well, at the end of the first quarter of this year, Kevin Whisler was at the top of the list, #1 trainer in the entire country, as he scored out with interview count, close ratio, his close ratio, and the trainees' close ratio. You add them all up, there's a formula there. So he's not only doing it well individually, he's doing a great job teaching other people.
And by the way, those numbers are, imagine this, 8.4 members per day in 8 days of training. So, you know, again, I see Alan shaking his head. I mean, it's hard to even grasp. And it's why this context is so important, because for the rest of our time together, I'm going to interview Kevin and I'm going to ask him, what is it that created that kind of success in the field this time around? Now, he's always been successful. I want to be clear. He's always been successful here, but there's something that's happening now that has never happened before. And it's not just Kevin in terms of, you know, like looking at his previous performance and what he's doing now. We've just never seen these kind of numbers, and which is exciting, which is very exciting. So let's go ahead and bring Kevin on. He can unplug his ears now. And Kevin, I've got a few questions for you, and I know you've got some things to share. Before I get into my questions, is there anything you'd like to open up with?
Well, hello, everybody. It's great to meet you. There's a lot of people on the call. That's great. Meet you at least in technology form. But Chris is right. When Mark and Chris asked me to be on the call, I'm not that guy that likes to be highlighted or even wants to be in the limelight. And maybe some of you are drawn to that, and that's okay too. But, and I'm not trying to be #1, guys, but although I'm shy, I am competitive. I do like to win, but it's not that I'm trying to be. I'm just trusting the system, and I think I was just open to everything that all of my mentors had to tell me. I just never question it. I just do it. I don't give them any kickback. So anyway, that's my
open. You're cold open. Well, all right. So let's get into this. So this time around, you know, things were a little bit different, and you'd been through the university. Maybe talk a little bit about your university experience that's been a couple times, and what you took from that and how you were applying that. What is it that you applied, you know, that kind of took all that, mentors, what you learned, all of it, and then channeled it into what we're seeing?
Yeah, the university, guys, is is something you don't want to miss. Whatever you got to do to get there. It will be life-changing for your career and your income. I do want to say, though, and if any of you don't like to hear this, you can, I guess, plug your ears at this time. But if any of you believe in prayer, pray for wisdom and discernment. Because when you have wisdom and discernment out there in the field, it will save you time, a lot of time. But the university is amazing. I've been there a few times, actually, and I always get something out of it. Tremendous, tremendous things. It's a tremendous shot in the arm just the skill sets, and it helped me learn what I needed to focus on in order to be more productive. Because we're all good at some things. We're not all good at everything. And I have weaknesses just like everybody else. So it helped me to define what my weaknesses were and what I needed to make stronger. And anyway, I can't say enough good things about the university.
So let's talk about one of the fundamentals, and I think this is in preparation as they're preparing for a new career here at National Rancher Congressman. The fundamental of mastering the interview is the most essential piece in preparation. So mastering the interview is the ability to walk into a complete stranger who doesn't know who you are, has never heard of National Rancher Congressman, and get them to drop what they're doing right now and talk to you, which is a skill. We call that skill getting the interview. So that is one of the skills of mastering the interview. The second skill is conducting an engaging interview. And that's when we're in the conversation. By the way, newsflash for all you guys, they're not going to follow the script that you saw in the video. Okay. Things are not going to go down like they went down in the video where Michael Ramsey walks in and gets a completely, a gatekeeper who's just warm, friendly, invites them right in. You're going to have challenges when you get to the field. I see lots of people smiling, you guys know. And so that's why these skills are so important, right? Conducting an engaging interview is about listening and asking questions, and of course it's all built in. It's all built into the process. And then the final one is perfecting the close. And I know, Kevin, this was where you really said, you know what, I'm all in on this. I'm going to do it exactly the way, exactly word for word. I'm going to do it every single thing that comes out of my mouth is going to come out of my body, is going to come out of my rate, pace, and tone. And I've watched Kevin work in the field. He is not just going in and doing a presentation. He is walking in and it's a performance. And when Kevin walks in, he's got his script, and he knows his script just like every major, movie actor knows their script. They got to know it backwards, forwards. And Kevin knows it that well. And when he goes in, it's a performance. He knows when to lean across the table. He knows when to take his glasses off and lean back. Everything he does, every move he makes is on purpose. So Kevin, talk a little bit about that journey and why that's made such a big difference.
Well, I'll share one of my favorite quotes, and that is, an important key to success is confidence. But the biggest key to confidence is preparation. If you're prepared, you can be confident. And if you're confident, you're going to have much more success than you normally would. That's why I took an additional week just to memorize and internalize that script. And my biggest advice to anyone starting in the field today, here's the secret. You learn the presentation verbatim, word for word. Even if you're not used to saying those words. Some of the words that were in the script when I first learned it were very awkward to me. They were words that were not in my vocabulary, words I'd never said before, so they felt awkward. But you keep doing it and it will not be awkward. But I've been through, like many of you with other organizations, their version of good sales training. But this is different than anything you've ever been through. Do not take it lightly, this script. Like Chris said, this is your time to act. Think about actors like Tom Hanks and Dustin Hoffman and the long roles maybe they've had in Rain Man or different movies. And they go lock themselves away in their man cave, wherever that is, for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, months to memorize. And they don't change the script. They memorize what the writer wrote. And the reason you can have so much confidence in this script, just exactly the way it's written, because it works. Oh, it works. Boy, does it work. It will make the difference between you making $30,000 a year or over $150,000 a year. It's trusting the script. Pay attention to every word. Very often we see a new representative, they get the script down and they get started and they have some initial success. Then after several weeks, they start to decline. And Right Your Congressman is one of the best training organizations I've ever seen in my life. They send a trainer out there to help that person. And of course, we know exactly what we're going to see. The person's off the script. They've started to add their own thing, leave out words, or just forget stuff altogether. And if we get them right back on that script, you know what happens. Their sales go right back up. And the script is magical. There's several what I call Jedi moment mind tricks in the script. I mean, they tell you when to not pause, when to pause, when to break eye contact, when not to break eye contact, when to look them dead in the eye and wait for them to give you an answer. And that's not to close. But there's so many little things in there that, and my old manager who's retired, who started me in the field, he says, Kevin, this is your 20 to 30 minute time to get on your soapbox and be an actor. You got 30 minutes and you're done. Just learn that script. So I did. And like Chris said, every interview is different. You're muted. Are you muted, Chris?
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to give you a nice clean line there. Yeah, no, I was going to say, you know, by the way, if I'm sitting in your shoes right now, here's what I'm writing. Kevin Whisler's Jedi mind tricks. Okay. So I want to know, what are the Jedi mind tricks? Because I've watched this in the field, guys. I've watched it. And literally when he takes his glasses off and every single thing, the way he's dressed, the way he walks, the way he carries himself, the way he uses his, there isn't anything, and it's all purpose. It's all on purpose. So let's talk about some of those Jedi mind tricks. Let's talk about the way you have 7 seconds to make a first impression. You never get it back. Talk about your first 7 seconds and what that means to you.
2 words, confident and assumptive. You walk in and I love the part during the introduction where you pull out your credentials, using the script verbatim, and then you say, may we step into your office? Break eye contact, shift your body, point your arm, your foot, wherever the direction is that they came from, where you think their office might be. And 99% of the time, they're going to say, oh, okay, because you're leading them and they don't even know it. I've seen guys stare at them and say, I must be brief. May we step into your office? And they go, no. So that's just one of the things right there that is so ingenious about the National Right Your Congressman sales script. It's so ingenious that other places that I've went, I've tried to figure out how to incorporate whatever I could out of Right Your Congressman into what I was doing. It's that good. So This is one of the many things. And there's just too many to talk about, Chris.
There is, but let's get in. Let's peel it back a little bit more, because you said, what are the 2 words you used about 7 seconds to make your first impression?
Confident and assumptive.
Okay. So confidence, tell us where confidence comes from for you. When you walk in, how are you dressed? How do you carry yourself? Talk a little bit about where your confidence comes from when you walk in.
Well, number one, it's knowing the script. It's knowing the script so well that when you walk in, you don't even have to think about, gee, what am I supposed to say now? Mm-hmm. It's just habit. Like you can sing the ABC song or Happy Birthday song, right? You know that so well. That's what you want this script to become. And another part is, yeah, I do dress. I wear a shirt and a tie. Generally, it's a white shirt. I iron the front. The only part you're going to see, because I never take off my jacket, and wear a nice tie, and I wear a two-piece suit because it makes me feel better, makes me feel good. And I'll tell you, when you walk in looking different, I get treated different. People treat me differently. I hear often, after the sale's made, they say, I don't sit down with salespeople, but I'm not sure why I sat down with you. Well, I know why. I don't tell them why. I say, hey, I appreciate it. You're passionate about this country, and give them a compliment, But yeah, I go in feeling good and got that script memorized like the back of my hand, and I look good. Nice shoes, polished shoes. If you ever want to invest into three things, it's shirts, ties, a suit, a nice pair of shoes, and a decent belt.
Yeah. So it's, you said something very important, and it's how you feel. See, a lot, here's another story about dress. And of course, for ladies, it's just professional dress. And for us, it's a, suit and tie
I'm wearing a suit and tie, guys.
You're doing suit and tie?
Yes, I
All
am.
right.
Be a woman, but I'm going to do it. That's where the money's at.
That's it, man. I love it. Yeah. But what's important is that it's how we feel. Kevin feels the most professional, the most confident in a suit and tie, polished up, sharp. He feels that's where but John Lowry, who's been #1 in the nation like 20 years in a row, who set records. There's an award named after him, the John Lowry Award. He, on the other hand, works in a golf shirt and slacks. So what's the right answer? Well, the right answer is how you feel inside. If you feel like the most important person they're going to see today with the most important message they're going to hear today, because it's true. And by the way, you're going to know that by the time you finish your journey here, even when you you may have know it now, but you will know it even deeper and deeper as time goes on. But if you feel that inside, then the way you're dressed is going to work. But here's the deal. Kevin knows that he's got 7 seconds, and they're going to make the decision whether they're going to give him the time of day or not in the first 7 seconds. Most of them have made the decision whether he's somebody they would do business with or not in the first 7 seconds. Did you guys know that? You got 7 seconds to make a first impression, and you never get it back. So everything you do for the first 7 seconds needs to be ultra focused. And that's what we mean by getting the interview. We can't teach you any of that stuff, guys, if you don't have the script verbatim. If you don't have the script verbatim, if it's not perfect, then we're working on the script. But the real magic is how you deliver the script. The real magic is how you walk in. The real magic is when you shake hands, when you break eye contact. There's so much you just learned from Kevin in this little segment, and it had very little to do with the words. But he keeps on reinforcing the words. So you get the memorization done so that you can do this, so that you can make this a performance. If sometimes Donald Trump, he doesn't have a teleprompter, and some of us wish he would have a teleprompter. So it's no different, right? If you know what you're going to say, you can focus on how you're going to say it, how you're going to deliver it, and that's what Kevin has done so effective is work on that. So we talked a little bit about that confidence and where you get that going in. Let's talk about the way that you get to a 45 new business member week. Now, guys, most of our sales are the base package. What's the base package? Well, that's the $495, and we point to it. We make, we talk about it. And so most of our sales, probably nationwide, 70, 80% of the new business sales are going to be base package sales. Now, how many of you believe that Kevin was able to go out and get 24, wait a minute, I'm saying this wrong. Not 24.
22 and a half.
22 and a half individual sales in 1 week. That would average out to, 4 or 5 sales a day. I will tell you that Kevin did not average 4 to 5 sales a day. And yet Kevin got 45 new business on multiple occasions. So how does he do that? And the answer should be obvious to you. The only way that's going to happen, he's going to need a big one. He's going to need a whale in there. He's going to need a 10 name order, a 14 name order. He's going to need some big orders there. So the question is, and by the way, every week he's done over 40, he's had a big member, 10, 14 people in one sale. And so the question really you have to ask is, well, wait a minute, if he's using the same script and that I'm using and most people are using, why is he getting and how is he getting these bigger sales? So let's talk a little bit about that, Kevin. You definitely have a lot of 3s, 4s, 5s, and then for some reason you go from 5 and you jump to like 7, 10, 14. You get some big members. Talk a little bit about that and how that goes down.
Sure. And I just want to hammer again just a little bit on the script, because good instructions tell you what to do long before your head can figure it out. Trust it. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. So before you can develop some bad habits, memorize that script. So when I get to the close and I break out the rate card, do you know that I use the close exactly as it's written? Exactly. This is all it takes for you and one other person of your choice to each have an effective voice in Congress. You're not limited. Many include friends, family, key people in their business. But at any level you choose, I'm running my pen up towards the $15 mark. At any level you choose, your investment is completely tax deductible. And I lay it to the side of the kit. Then I get their card, and I always get them to sign a business card to stick in there. Why do we do that? 2 reasons. Number one, I know a lot of guys that don't get them to sign their card. The reason I like to do it, because one time I had a card in there that wasn't signed, and a guy knew that member. And he says, how do I know you didn't go in there and just pick that up off his desk and stick it in your book? And I said, well, we can call him if you like, because he was a member. But by them signing their card, that affirms to the new person that yes, they're a member, but also it's the first buying sign for that prospective member. You get them to sign that card and then get their quote. And then we go into just a review of what they're going to receive. Then do you prefer to receive your ballots via email or hard copy? And I get their name written down, and I write their email down, and I'd say, and Mark, I'm going to ask you to do something because I know you care. Now, let me back up. I don't do this with everybody. I do this with the person who there's a connection with. You found a good red-blooded American that, man, they're ready to storm the gates of hell with a water pistol with you and ready to take this country back, right? You've had a conversation with this person. They're engaged. They put their phone on hold. They don't answer their phone. They say, no, it's not important. No, they're involved in a conversation with you. I got a good one, right? That's when I say, Mark, and I'll pull up my glasses. I'm going to ask you to do something because I know you care and I believe you can. And I take my pen and I lay it down and I point to the 15 member group on the top of the card. I said, I'm going to ask you to include as many people as you possibly can in your membership. And I'll let you think about that for a minute while I finish taking down some information. And I go right back to writing. And more times than not, they'll say, I'll do 7. I'll do 5. I'll do 4. Or I'll whatever, right?
Or 14.
And if someone says, well, I'll do the 2. And if I feel there's a really good connection with this guy, I say, Mark, I'm going to ask you to do one more. One good American knows another. Who do you know that's passionate like you? Right? And I'll move to that. Your spouse. Many people name their father, their mother, their brother, their sister, their son or daughter. And, oh, okay, all right. And they'll do one more and Sometimes they even add a fourth one. Who knows how it goes?
And the worst case scenario is they go, no, I'm just going to do 2. Well, you had that to begin with, so no loss. But that is a big part of the secret, guys. It's a big part of the secret. Another one of Kevin's secrets that I want to make sure he shares his Jedi mind tricks. I love that. Kevin Whisler's Jedi mind tricks. Another one is his internalization of our mission and cause. He is on a mission. Make no mistake about it. When you see him walk in a business, you will know that man is on a mission. You will know it because of the way he walks, the way he carries himself, the way he interacts with people. There is no small talk. He doesn't walk in there and go, that's a nice fish. Did you catch that? Or, doing all the sales 101 techniques that most of us learned. He doesn't do any of that. He uses the script, and he's a man. I don't know, the best way to describe it would be the Blues Brothers, right? We're on a mission from God. It is that kind of presence that he carries. So talk a little bit about where that presence comes from internally. And I know you talk about being on a mission, and you have a great quote that I know Mark Wade is going to love.
Yeah, and my quote is, if we're going to ask people to join a mission, we better act like we're on one. You know what really my mission is when I walk into that business? My mission is to determine if they're a responsible American or not. And I'm in a hurry to find out if they're an irresponsible American or an unconcerned or complacent American. And if they are, I say, man, thanks for your time. I'll get this ballot sent in for you. Have a great day. Boom, I'm on to the next door. That's what I'm in a hurry about. But I'm not in a hurry. Very slow.
Right.
Slow down and slow down. And it took me a long time to get that. We talk a lot faster than we realize, especially out in the field. So,
can you say that quote again? I love it. Mark, you want to write this down? Mark will give you credit for 2 or 3 times, and he's going to act like it's his. Right, Alan?
The quote is, if we're going to act like, if we're going to ask people to join a mission, we better act like we're on one.
I love it. We better act like we're on one. and guys, that is the biggest secret of Kevin, because this is a performance, because he has studied, drilled, and rehearsed, because he knows just like he knows every beat in the song on that drum, he knows every word in the talk as if it was a beat on that drum. And so all he has to do is figure out how to present it. How do I walk in? How do I carry myself? How do I create a sense of urgency, importance? How do I get people to do this now? The time is now. It's urgent. It's important, right? I don't know if you've ever studied the Stephen Covey 4 quadrants, but when you walk into a business, believe me, there's a lot of important stuff going on, a lot of urgent stuff, a lot of fires they're putting out every single day. And Stephen Covey will tell you there is only one remedy that beats important and that beats urgent, putting out fires. It's urgent, important. And let me tell you something, when Kevin walks in your door, you're going to feel those 2 things. It's urgent, it's important, and we got to do it right now. And whether that's getting into the ballot, or it's getting the membership closed, and determining who they are. Kevin is not selling memberships at National Write Your Congressman. I want to say that again. He does not sell memberships. Kevin doesn't even believe that memberships can be sold. Now just let that rattle around in your brain for a minute. Kevin believes, as I do, and all of us that have been here for any length of time, we believe that the product was built for a very specific person. And you just heard Kevin articulate it. It was built for somebody we call internally a responsible American. Now, who are they? These are the people that love their country. They care about their neighbor. They're typically volunteering their time in the community. They're usually leading different things at church, and everybody goes to them because even though they're the busiest people on the planet, if you give them a task, they get it done. These are great people, and they know that it's not only a right but a responsibility in this country to be educated, informed, and involved. In that order: educated, informed, involved. And so The problem is they just don't know what to do. And then Kevin shows up, you show up, right? When we find that person, everyone hates to be sold. They love to buy, they just hate to be sold. When we find that person, we get them to sell us on why they must be involved rather than us trying to sell them on why we think they should be. By the way, which is what you do in sales. You should all over people. They should do it because of this, and they should do it because of that, because those are the reasons that are important to you. But if you really want to be master your craft here, you'll get good at flipping the table. Imagine turning the entire table around and walking into a business and they have to prove to you that they're a responsible American. You have nothing to prove to them. Just think about how powerful that is. And so with that mindset, that's just made a huge difference. Go ahead, Kevin.
Imagine having the gonads to say to a person after you've got a check or a credit card in your hand, if they were to make some snide comment to say, you know, Chris, if you're not going to do this, I don't want your money. And you push the check back across the desk to them. See, I'm not afraid to walk away from people because I know there's enough people out there that are fired up and love this country and want to be involved. And that's who we want to be involved. We don't want to have to try and talk to. I remember very early on in my career, I got frustrated and I called my manager. It was Rodney Mays at the time. And I had one of those days, right? And I had probably a couple of those days in a row. And I called Rodney up and I was just unleashing on him. You know, I was tired of the complacency of people out there. And there was silence on the end of the phone. So I paused for a minute and he said, "Are you done?" You know, Rodney. And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Great. I want you to grab a pen and a paper. Go get it right now." So I said, "Okay." He said, "I want you to write this down." I said, "Okay, I'm ready." He said, "Write down, I will never make someone be a responsible American. I will only find them, and I will work to find them." And it just, from that moment, it was like, wow, it's a whole different mind shift of looking for the right people rather than expecting so many people just to do it because it's a good idea to you or a good idea to me. And I was thinking about, I want to jump back just a minute, back to memorizing the script. I thought about what I did to memorize this script. And maybe this will help some of you guys, because you've probably read that script enough times over and over and over and over and over where you don't even want to look at it again, right? Or you might just puke if you have to read it one more time. There's a couple other things you can do. I also copied the script by hand, which I wrote it out word for word. And it's another form of linguistics, which Tony Robbins talks about of internalizing. Seeing, hearing, writing, any way you can get that into your ears, your eyes, to help you internalize it. Then I did the most painful thing. I read it as I was recording it so I could listen to it going down the road, because I got tired of hearing the CDs they gave me. And then after a while, I'd go back and redo it because I'd listen to it and I go, "Man, that was awful. That's terrible." And just redo it and then listen to it. But there's something about staying on that script, and something has helped me to stay on that script. I keep a copy of the script by my bed and in my car. And I read it at least once a day. Now, maybe don't read the whole thing, but there might be a section in there that got, something's not connecting there. What am I missing? And I'll go back and I'll reread that. I go, "Oh, that's it." And
well, you know, it's funny because Kevin just proved a point that he made earlier. He said that I'm not trying to be the best. I'm not trying to set records there. None of that really matters to me. But what does matter, he did say he was competitive though. But what does matter is that he is always improving. And right above Mark Wade's bald head right there, if you can see it, it says better never stops. And Mark Wade always talks about better never stops. And that is Kevin Whisler. Well, Mark, I've got a couple more, one more question to close out, but I'd love to get some other guys in here, maybe start with Sid and Alan and Sam. You guys got any comments or questions for Kevin?
Kevin, thanks. I wish, and I had a great trainer, same guy that started Chris Allen started me, one of our greatest trainers of all time. But I wish that I would have heard what I just heard from you. I've been here 10 years now, gang. And I've trained people for 9.5 years. And I wish I would have heard what you just said. Y'all just got gold. Whether you've been learning the script for a week or a month, you were just given gold. So thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome, Alan.
Yeah, Kevin, the stuff you're saying is so spot on. I've been with National Write Your Congressman 20 years, and I look back at the top of the pack with National Write Your Congressman. A lot of them are trainers, and the reason for that is because they're forced to study that script when they go train somebody. And it's just funny because if we get our ego out of the way and just do the fundamental of the script, everyone on this call will be in six figures and successful. And it's a win for you. It's a win for your family. It's a win for your God, and it's a win for the nation. This is a win-win-win career. So thanks for sharing, Kevin.
You bet, Sid.
Sam, you're muted. Sam, you're muted.
He's got it.
All right, this is it should be a little repetitious, I think, because we're agreeing on this. I've never worked with you, Kevin, but I can visualize you walking into a business and the kind of posture that you have and the kind of delivery you have that's on purpose. And all that is rooted in the basics, starting with that script. I mean exactly how it's written and then practicing exactly how you give it and when those glasses come off. And it's a beautiful thing for these new people that are getting their career started right now to have that testimony, because it's true. And that's where the confidence comes from. And that's what you say, it's not just words. That's the seed that this grows from. So thank you. It's
Yes,
wonderful.
Yeah.
There is another benefit to learning the script and doing everything your trainer is coaching you to do. If you do those things and it doesn't work, it ain't your fault.
That's words of wisdom right there. Words
right.
of wisdom.
And I always say you can't fall off the bottom. So
Fall
why not?
off the floors, right?
Hey, y'all. Well, this has been a great call. Kevin, thank you for being on. Words of gold, as Alan said, words of wisdom. And everybody that's new, just don't make it more complicated than it really is, right? Just don't make it more, don't overanalyze and get paralyzed by analyzing everything. When you understand why the work's important and you go do the Fab Four that we talk about all the time, you're going to write business and you're going to have success. And it's not complicated. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. Okay. So I don't know, Sid, you were going to wrap up a little bit. Chris, you got something else? Or
Yeah, I got one last question. I always like to save toward the last question I'm going to ask him, because I think this is probably the most important one. And then we'll go to Sid here to maybe wrap. But Kevin, if you have been, and we have been sitting in the chairs of these new people getting ready to start, if you could boil down you know, what's the most important thing that you would say to these people at this stage of their career? If you could boil that down to the most important, like you've just talked about so many things. If you could only get one message across to them, what would it be?
Learn the script. Verbatim.
Yeah.
And a good way to do that too is if you're married, have your wife help you. If you're not,
Or hubby?
or hubby, yes, yes. Or have a friend or a son or daughter, if they're old enough to check you. Have them hold the script.
Yeah.
Say, I want you to stop me every time I get a word wrong. And you start going through the presentation, and that's how you perfect yourself. That's how you just dial it in, because when you get things dialed in on that talk, you're going to be razor sharp. Razor sharp. That's first and foremost.
Yeah, that's and you know, and think about what I just asked him. Of all the things he knows, all the things he's learned, all the what goes into getting to a 45 new business week, all of it boils down to one thing. And I know it's repetitive, but clearly it's important. So Sid, yeah, you want to take over from here?
Well, yeah, I guess on the wrap up, I don't. This is kind of hard to wrap up. I mean, I think Kevin and Chris, you guys have done a great job. I tell you what, this is to everyone on this call. You know, this can be your last career, a long-term career. I have a representative retiring this year after 28 years. You know, think about that. And 28 years with a very substantial income. You know, over 180. So when we take this thing and what Kevin just said is the fundamentals and becoming professional at it, be professional in your career, and it'll make you a millionaire, right? Rodney Mays, who hired me as well, you know, he said it's pretty easy. He goes, you make $170,000 a year and you put $100,000 in the bank every year. In 10 years, you're a millionaire, right? And that's what this career has to offer everyone on this call. It's an amazing opportunity. And like I said earlier, it's a win for everyone involved, including people we don't even know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you, Sid. Chris, Kevin, thank you guys. Sam and Alan, thank you for being on, offering your wisdom and insight. And everybody, all you rookies, right? You're the rooks. All you rooks. We're looking forward to getting you out there. You're going to have a great time. And like these guys, like Sid, I love what Sid said. This can be your last career. You know, you heard Chris, 20 some odd years. Sid, 20 years. Sam, 22, 23, I think. I'll be 22 in August, right? I was 12 when I started. So it can be a phenomenal career for all of you. And with that, we'll sign off. Keep working. It's going to pay off. Great word, Kevin. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks,
Good night,
Kevin.
everybody.
Welcome to
Thanks,
the
Kevin.
team, everybody.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Good night.